Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the Coke Zero 400, race number 17 of the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series season. Last night we saw the Subway Firecracker 250. Casey Kane took home the victory, and tonight Casey Kane will start on the pole, and he will lead a 42-car field down in the green flag in the 2015 Coke Zero 400. On the outside pole is the number 21 Wood Brothers Ford of Ryan Blaney, a career best starting spot for Ryan. Jeff Gordon, in his final start at Daytona, will be rolling out third alongside the 31 of Ryan Newman. And Joe Logano and Sam Hornets Jr. make up row 3. Brad Keselowski, Eric Almirola, and then it'll be David Reagan and Clint Boyer your top 10. It's been a while since we have last had a Cup race. It's been about 2 weeks. The most recent race was the race at Infineon, the Toyota St. Mart 350, where we saw Matt Kenseth get his second win of the year after holding off Joe Logano. Now we have at least about 10 races remaining until we will hit the playoffs. Right now, 4 guys are sitting pretty well with 2 wins. A lot of guys have 1 win. And right now, Logano, McMurray, Newman, and Edwards are right now in on points. But all that can change in a hurry here at Daytona. Now let's send it down track side so we can get the most famous words in all of racing.
Drivers, start your engines!
Down below, you'll be seeing your starting grid roll across your screen. And it'll be Casey Kane, who is on the pole. His first pole here at Daytona and the first pole of 2015. Like we said, Ryan Blaney is on the outside, trying to get one of those guys who could get his first career win here today. Let's look at the 4th car on the outside lane. That is Eric Almirola. Almirola, right now, he won this race 1 year ago. And I'm going to turn down my volume. Kind of loud. Alright. And then back here you see that 55 car on the inside lane. That is Brian Vickers. Vickers won the Daytona 500 earlier this year after holding out Paul Menard and Trevor Bayne. Right now Vickers sitting very well to make the chase for 2015. Another guy could get his first win of the year and get himself in the chase, but that would bump this 19 car of Carl Edwards out unless he gets a win really soon. Right now this 19 is on the out. Right now he's inside the chase, but just a few points ahead of Kyle Larson and Jimmy Johnson. Let's move back here. Brian Scott at 33, and last night's Xfinity race ran very well. Not the finish he was hoping for. Kyle Larson, Paul Menard, he finished second in the Daytona 500. Here's last week's winner, Matt Kenseth, Justin Allgaier, Michael McDowell. The number 35 is driven by Reed Sorensen. Cole Whitt and Front Row Motorsports parted ways after the Infineon weekend, where Whitt did not even compete at. Cole Whitt attempted to drive the number 98 for Phil Parsons Racing, but Cole Whitt missed the race, along with the BK Racing's Matt DiBenedetto, Brendan Gunn in the 62 team, and Mike Bliss in the 44. Coming down though to the green flag to get us underway here from Daytona. Casey Kane, Ryan Blaney, your front row. We are underway in the Coke Zero 400 at Daytona. Already fanning out 3 wide before we even get to turn number 1. Casey Kane clears Ryan Blaney, but here comes the 24 Jeff Gordon on the inside lane. He'll get around Blaney and Newman, and he'll jump up into 2nd place. These Hendrick cars have been fast all weekend. The 5 and the 24 has been very fast in all practice and qualifying. Right now they are 1st and 2nd as they come out of turn number 2. But now to the inside comes the 24 Gordon. Behind them we have the 2 Penske Fords of Logano and Keselowski. It takes about a lap and a half to get these cars up to full speed. And right now, Jeff Gordon on the inside of Casey Kane trying to lead the first lap here at Daytona. Side by side for the leads. Logano helping Kane on the outside. That might be the edge. And it is. Kane leads lap number 1 at Daytona. And Jeff Gordon in his final race at the Daytona International Speedway, where he has scored 4 wins here, 4 Daytona 500s. Brad Keselowski now up in the 3rd. Carl Edwards pushing him in the 19. Pushed by Ryan Newman. David Reagan, he finished 2nd at Talladega. The win that got away, and possibly the shot at the making the chase that got away. And Gordon got a pretty good push from Keselowski down the straightaway. That will propel him into the lead. Now he has 3 Toyotas lined up on the outside. Edwards, Hamlin, and Boyer. Boyer gets to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Now Carl Edwards makes a left turn. He goes to the inside of Jeff Gordon at the line. Gordon is slot number 2. And it looks like the 26 of Jeb Burton has lost the draft. So has Reed Sorensen, Bobby Labonte, and J.J. Yaley. Here's Brett Moffitt, Trevor Bain, Justin Allgaier, and David Gilliland. And some guys starting to lose the draft. Kyle Busch is back here in the 18. Out front now, Eric Almirola won this race 1 year ago after rain washed out the race. He was the leader, and he was able to get the win after holding off Ryan Vickers, Austin Dillon, Kurt Busch, and it was a real wreckfest in this race 1 year ago. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who crashed in this race 1 year ago, he's now going up into 2nd place, but McMurray will make it 3 wide and put Stenhouse in the middle. Stenhouse with Boy behind him. Jamie McMurray, the 2010 Daytona 500 winner. Kevin Harvick, the 2007 Daytona 500 winner. Kurt Busch, the 2005 Daytona 500 runner-up. And McMurray gets shot out in the lead, but Kevin Harvick makes it to the inside. Harvick started 26 in this race, and already 4 laps into the race, he's now about to take the lead on the inside lane. Kurt Busch, his teammate behind him, then we got the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, probably the most surprise story of the year. Johnson, a 6-time champion, has not won a race this season, has not won a pole, but he's not even been leading laps. Right now, Johnson is 14th in points, but even more surprising, he is not on the chase grid right now. He is around 30 points out behind the 19 of Carl Edwards. I'll wait for Johnson to make the chase is get a win, and what a better place to do it right here at Daytona. Kurt Busch to the inside of Kevin Harvick. He'll take the lead over, but now we have the number 3 of Austin Dillon. Could he put that number 3 back in victory lane at Daytona? He has the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushing him by the 2 Stewart-Haas Racing Machines. It's Chevrolet in the top 7. Kyle Larson in the mix. That's Martin Truex Jr. on the inside lane, and Harvick right on the left rear corner panel of his teammate Kurt Busch. That could be a very risky move right there, getting on the left rear corner panel, opening down the car in the turns. That could really easily turn the car down the track and cause a big old pileup, which could take out many cars. Now Austin Dillon out in front of the field with Dale Jr. 2nd, Kyle Larson, Greg Biffle, 7 of AJ Allmendinger on the inside lane. Here's Ryan Blaney, the 21, Brian Vickers, 55. Also in the lead pack, we have Michael McDowell, Alex Bowman. He's in this pack. We have the 13 of Casey Mears and the 40 of Landon Castle. Right now, Brian Scott, Paul Menard, Michael Annette, Justin Allgaier, David Gilliland, Trevor Bain. Some of these guys have lost their draft. Brett Moffitt, and then we got a 4-car tandem back here with Yaley, Labonte, Sorensen, and Burton. And we got a big crash back in the pack. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth taken out. It's going to be a big pile up here on the front straightaway. Cars trying to get through. Keselowski, Michael Annette, David Gilliland. Is that landing? That's Justin Allgaier involved. Nowhere to go for the 51. Caution is out as the big one erupts here on lap number 7, which is taking out one of our championship contenders, Brad Keselowski, in the 2. David Gilliland, pit road. Justin Allgaier, Brad Keselowski, also involved are 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 29th in points. Matt Kenseth, winner from Infineon. That's Jeff Gordon in his final race at Daytona, and it is not going to happen here today. A win. Gordon is damaged. Denny Hamlin, he has a win this year, and he is involved. A lot of good cars torn up. Casey Kenya Pole Center has a lot of left side damage and a lot of rear end damage. But something major happened here on lap number 7, which has taken out 2 of the guys who got 2 wins this year, Keselowski and Jeff Gordon. But with some of these guys, some of our former winners this season already having issues, that could allow maybe another first-time 2015 winner to come around at the end of the night. But first, let's go back and see what happened to the number 24 of Jeff Gordon. And Gordon was the first car I saw get involved. And it's like 4 wide and possibly, but it looks like the 17 of Stenhouse is going to come down on the nose of Kasey Kahne. Keselowski nowhere to go. Those 3 gets together, comes up in front, up into Logano, Carl Edwards, Denny Hamlin. There's Kasey Kahne, David Reagan, Matt Kenseth. Edwards is able to drive away. I did not see the 19 involved, but that's because he was able to drive away. Hamlin runs into Stenhouse. Paul Menard, Brian Scott on the outside. Keselowski hits Stenhouse again, which brings him up the track, and David Gilliland and Justin Allgaier nowhere to go. Michael Annett was just lucky enough to get by in that 46. Michael Annett and Trevor Bayne was able to get by on the inside. Gets around Allgaier and Gilliland. So right now we can tell you that Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Matt Kenseth are out of the race. Brad Keselowski, David Gilliland, and Justin Allgaier, they are right now 1 lap down. Logano and Kasey Kahne are on pit road getting serviced. So is Carl Edwards. Austin Dillon was the leader, meaning he was not involved. He was far ahead of all that mess going on in the back. So he will be a leader when we go back green. Dale Jr. second, Clint Boyer, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Larson. Brian Vickers, Casey Mears, Michael McDowell, Kyle Busch, and AJ Allmendinger. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Sam Hornish Jr., Eric Almirola, and Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, James Martin Truex Jr. Great run right now for Alex Bowman, Landon Castle, Paul Menard, Ryan Scott, and David Reagan. Michael Annett, Trevor Bayne, Brett Moffitt, J.J. Yaley, Bobby Labonte, Reed Sorensen, and Jeb Burton. Kasey Kahne is back on track, so is Carl Edwards and Joey Logano. And Keselowski, Allgaier still on pit road along with David Gilliland. As caution is still out, we'll be right back and take you back to the green flag when we return to Daytona. Okay, lights are out, meaning we are going back green this time by. We can tell you that now that Brad Keselowski, David Gilliland, and Justin Allgaier, they're all out the race. So we will have 35 cars remaining on track. Last guy on the lead lap is the 19 of Carl Edwards. And this is not what Carl Edwards or Joey Logano needs right now. These are 2 guys who are just trying to make it in on points, and right now they are 34th and 35th in line. And Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson are right up ahead of these guys. Right now Johnson is 16th, and Kyle Larson is even better. He's right now inside the top 5 and 5th. For those who saw last night's Xfinity race, Kasey Kahne won the race after beating Matt Kenseth. Both guys were involved in that first caution tonight. But in that race, that was a 25-lap race, and you can probably tell that this is a 22-lap race. Kind of did want the last night's race was a little bit longer than I thought it would be, so I decided to shorten the Cup race just a few laps, 22 laps. And right now, we're just now past the halfway point in this race. Austin Dillon has never won a race in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Neither has Ryan Blaney or Kyle Larson. Michael McDowell has never won a race. Sam Hornish Jr. has never won a race. Alex Bowman, Landon Castle, Brian Scott. Will we see a surprise winner, or will somebody steal the win and get their second win of 2015, like Dale Jr. or Kyle Busch or Brian Vickers? About to find out as we are going back to green here on lap number 12 of 22 from Daytona. We got 2 Chevrolets inside the top 5. Then we got Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet. First guy to make a move is Kyle Larson, who's right when to save that Clint Boyer to the inside of Dale Jr. for second place on the track. Question is, will these guys back here be able to stay in the draft? We already know the 23 and the 32 are not that fast. So is the 35 and the 26. Logano and Edwards, and they need to get around some of these slower cars before they lose any more time in the leaders. 3 wide back here, Tony Stewart, Martin Truex, and Alex Bowman. Right up ahead, the pack is starting to spread out. As right now, Clint Boyer, Kyle Larson hooking up, and they are driving by the number 3 of Austin Dillon. Now Larson to the inside for the lead. Get back to the Bristol race earlier this year. Kyle Larson had that race won, but a slower David Gilliland, who was coming off pit road onto the track, came up and stalled the momentum of the 42, slowed him down, and Brad Keselowski had enough run, and he was able to get by the 42 and steal that win. That could have been a win, that his first career win. That could have been the win that put that 42 car in the chase. So now, because of that, Larson is on the outside looking in, trying to make the chase in the sophomore year. 3 wide now, Allmendinger and Newman on the inside of Casey Mears and Clint Boyer. 3 Toyotas now nose to tail on the outside lane. Boyer, Vickers, and Kyle Busch. Johnson has run the 48. He now drives the back bumper of Greg Biffle. Update on Carl Edwards and Joey Logano. Right now, Casey Kane is 34th. Right now, Logano is 33rd, and Carl Edwards is 32nd. That probably just changed. Edwards is 29th, and Logano is 30th. They need to gain as much points as possible and hope Larson and Johnson fall back. And even Allmendinger's right up there in the points as well. He's about 30 points behind the 48, and now he is leading the field until now. Ryan Newman on the inside trying to get the lead away. Newman, he does not have a win this year, but he is 8th in points. Newman up front, Greg Biffle, and up here Jimmy Johnson, Almirola, Sam Hornish Jr. in the 9, Kurt Busch in the 41. 8 to go from Daytona, and now Eric Almirola on the inside. Can he possibly get a second win this year? Almirola won Daytona last year, and he won Talladega earlier this year. Coming off turn 4 in the Talladega race, David Reagan was leading. Possibly looks like he was going to get his first win of the year in just about what would be, I believe, his 5th start with MWR. Not so fast. Here comes Almirola. He got by Reagan, and he won the race. Now Almirola on the outside of Kurt Busch in that 41. He won the race at Pocono earlier this year. Drives up to his former teammate Ryan Newman on the back bumper, and give a shout out to some of these guys on the inside lane. Michael McDowell, Landon Castle, and Alex Bowman for Tommy Baldwin Racing. 7 to go from Daytona. These guys are up here, and they have a shot to win. How about Paul Menard? That 27 car, he lost the draft earlier in the race before that caution came out with the big wreck. Now Menard, he was runner-up in the 500 in February. Now Menard is up here with a shot to win. And Bowman, he wants more. He wants that lead now. Alex Bowman on the inside lane, getting a push in the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Menard now in the middle. Truex and McMurray on the inside with Dale Jr. in the 88. Brian Vickers in the 55. It is still anybody's race up here at the front of the field. Landon Castle falling back outside the top 10 after he got no help on the outside lane. And Bowman leads this lap. He clears Kurt Busch. Well, does not clear Kurt Busch, but he beats the 41 to the line. And now Logano and Edwards has gotten around a few more cars. They've gotten around Brett Moffitt, Trevor Bayne, and Michael Annett, and now David Reagan, who has lost the draft in that 66. So that will put these two guys, they really need a caution right now before it's too late, before it ends on the yellow, because these two guys need some help. And Bowman, he's still hanging up here. Kurt Busch is able to hang on the outside lane. He got a great push from the 31 of Ryan Newman, and he kept that 41 car out in front of the field. Busch clears the inside lane. He drops down, picks up the inside line. That will leave Newman and his teammate Paul Menard. Bowman gets put in the middle by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson swept the races here 2 years ago, winning the 500 and the Coke 0400. He's now on the inside lane, getting pushed from the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. and the 1 of McMurray. McMurray, he's that other guy right now in the top 4 on the points grid. McMurray right now 6 in points, and he is going to try to get 3rd place away, getting some help from the 88 of Dale Jr. underneath Truex and Newman. Now Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson clears the front three, or the next three, but now McMurray has to run on Johnson. He'll peek to the inside possibly, and he does. Dale Jr. stays on the outside lane to help his teammate Jimmy Johnson. Look at Brian Vickers. Can he sweep the Daytona races in 2015? It's Casey Mears, Kyle Larson, Austin Dillon, all lined up by the inside lane. 4 to go, and I really think we're going to see another first-time winner. I really expect to see another first-time winner right now. And Vickers to the inside of McMurray. Kyle Larson looks like he's going to put Casey Mears in the middle. Mears moves time to pick up Johnson and Vickers on the inside of McMurray for second place. Kyle Larson and Hornets and Dillon. There's at number 18 of Kyle Busch. He has one win this year, and look at the 48 dropping back. Look at some of these names though on the inside lane. Kyle Larson, Sam Hornets Jr., Austin Dillon. These guys have never won a race before. And not only that, they're trying to get up here and win trying to get a win and make themselves in the chase. Now Hornets to the inside of Larson. There's Clint Boyer. He had a good car at Sonoma 2 weeks ago. He's now up here trying to get redemption, trying to get his first win at Daytona. He now goes to the inside of Austin Dillon. Hornets goes high to pick up Larson. Kurt Busch is trying to block all lanes at Daytona. 2 to go this time by. Kurt Busch has been fast ever since he got out to the lead, but he has to hold off a hard-charging Clint Boyer as he come out of turn number 4. There'll be 2 to go. Boyer to the inside. Ryan Blaney's there. Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell. 2 to go from Daytona. But now Boyer has the inside line. He is coming. McDowell on the inside of Kyle Busch. Look at Landon Castle, E.J. Allmendinger. Clint Boyer would love to see a caution right now. That way the race would end on the yellow. And now Allmendinger to the inside of Michael McDowell, Paul Menard, and Martin Truex Jr. It is still 3 wide for Allmendinger to the inside of McDowell. Here's Menard and Truex. On the inside line, Kurt Busch falling back. Behind him is his brother Kyle Busch in the 18. Allmendinger, can he get a run from the 27 of Paul Menard? They are coming towards the white flag. 1 lap to go for Clint Boyer. He is far out in front of the 47 of Allmendinger. Menard now to the inside. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. Boyer wants to see these guys battling 3 wide in his rearview mirror. There's Alex Bowman, Brian Vickers, Greg Biffle, and Almirola. Down the back straight away they go. No caution. Boyer still out in front. Look at Alex Bowman. This is going to be a career day for Bowman and Tommy Baldwin Racing on the inside of Truex. Does he have enough time to catch Boyer? He's getting a great push on Brian Vickers. Will it be enough? Coming out, turn 4, Vickers to the inside. It'll be MWR first and second. The first win of the year for Clint Boyer. He wins the Coke 0400. Clint Boyer is in the chase for 2015 here at Daytona. And what a finish for Alex Bowman. Second place, a career best. And a career best not only for Bowman, but for Tommy Baldwin Racing. A team that's been around since 2009, debuting right here at Daytona in the spring with Scott Riggs, and now they, after a lot of hard work and a lot of stressful hours in the shop, that 7 car will be coming home with a big paycheck, second place here for Bowman. How about Brian Vickers? Could have been a 1-2 finish for NWR, but third just as good. Vickers, 3rd place for that 55 car. Coming on 4th is Greg Biffle, a great top 5 for Biffle, and coming home with a top 5 finish to complete the race is Martin Truex Jr. But man, what a finish that was, and what a story for Alex Bowman. Bowman's 34th in points, and this is really going to help him possibly trying to get at least in the top 30 points. Jimmy Johnson, a nice run. He is 8th. But really the big news, where did Joey Logano and Carl Edwards end up? Logano, 26th. Edwards, 25th. So not the runs they needed to be in the chase. But look at this. Look at this. So Alex Bowman, 2nd place. Oh man, this is gonna be a big celebration. Even though it's not a win, this might be. Even though I finished second, you gotta think this is a win for TBR. Gotta be so happy for that number 17. Vickers, Almirola, Menard, Johnson, Larson, and Dale Jr. top 10. Allmendinger, Kurt Busch, who held off a lot of guys for a couple laps. McMurray, McDowell, Mears, Dillon, Castle, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Sam Hornish Jr. Michael Annett, Brett Moffitt, these guys lost the draft. Only 23 guys. The top 23 was separated by 0.8 of a second. Then the next guy, Ryan Scott, 15 seconds behind. Trevor Bayne, Casey Kane, Jed Burton, Reed Sorensen, the last guy on the lead lap. Justin Allgaier will complete the race next weekend. Daytona is done for the year. Next weekend, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Spring Up Series will be live for a three series weekend at Kentucky next weekend. Trucks on Friday, Xfinity Saturday. Trucks on Thursday, Xfinity on Friday, and Cup will be on Sunday or Saturday. So, but gotta be excited for that. But also excited for Clint Bowyer. He is possible. Looks like Clint Bowyer. Also remember, Bowyer is 26 in points. Remember, he needed a win to make the chase. Right now, Bowyer is in. And that means only 3 spots left to make it in on points. And right now, it looks like McMurray, Newman, and Logano are those 3. But still a lot of racing left to go before the chase. Congrats to Bowyer on the win. Congrats to Casey Kane on winning last night's Xfinity race. And we will see you next weekend at Kentucky for the Truck Series race at Kentucky. So, see you there. Goodbye, everyone.